it's very clear now in hindsight that social media did everything they could to skew that election in favor of Biden and against Trump.
Is America that pathetic that the federal government had no ability? Okay, if the federal government is that weak, that pathetic, and that ineffective, this country is already doomed. And I can only assume that Pelosi and the Democrats understand that. That when there's a video of a guy, he's watching January 6th happen. People are going in the building and he looks at the cops and he goes, "Stop them. Why aren't you doing anything?" And the cops don't care. They just stand there. It makes you wonder. Not that I know for sure, but I tell you this, there were barely any cops there when there were hundreds of thousands of people that were down there in DC. Why did they let these people do this? There were some cops there trying to stop them, that I get. But seriously, the seat of the federal government could not stop 800 people from walking through a building? Yeah. Is America that pathetic that the federal government had no ability? Okay, if the federal government is that weak, that pathetic, and that ineffective, this country is already doomed. 800 people showed up and we were helpless to stop them. That's the narrative of the January 6th committee, that the federal government has become feckless, weak, pathetic, and ineffective. So my response is, okay, if they can't stop 800 people from walking through a building and they're carrying sticks, maybe we should strip them all of their funding because it's a big, fat waste of money. And then I don't know what we do, hire private companies to handle security in and around the district, I guess, because they certainly couldn't stop it. Amazing, huh?
Yeah. Well, I remember after 5/29 too, everyone was like, Trump got shuttled to a bunker. He's such a coward. Like all the media was against us. And it's like, what are you talking about? We said all of Congress later, like a couple months later, and it made sense, right?
They laughed when Trump was...
The narrative was that Trump was weak for going to the bunker, which is just security protocol. But then we got all those sound bites from AOC telling us how terrified she was, and someone banged on her door, which wasn't even true. Yeah.
Well, I mean, someone probably banged on her door, but the whole story...
Not like in the context that she thinks it was, though.
Yeah, she lied. You know, AOC lied about what happened on January 6th. She fabricated a story claiming that I thought I was going to die because they made it to my office, even though her story happened an hour before the Capitol was breached. These people are sick, duplicitous. I would argue it is the simpler solution that elements of the federal government told law enforcement to back off, as opposed to assuming the federal government is unable to stop 800 people. It's an insane notion.
It's 2 wins and a loss for whoever told the military to stand down on January. I mean, they were stood down. Whether they were ordered to or not, I don't know. But they weren't there. They weren't stopping us because they didn't want the optics of a bunch of military breaking people's faces, getting into fights, opening fire maybe on the crowd, although Ashley Babbitt was open fire.
From any kind of morality or ethics. Simply to get, and the funny part is, and it's tragic, is they got exactly what they wanted. They got Joe Biden, and he is destroying everything we hold dear.
But they don't
care.
Everything
we hold dear. I guess they don't care. I mean, can they not hold...
Social victory above anything else. It's not about a good economy. It's not about having food. It's not about healthcare. It's about saying I won.
The they you're talking about, though, are the ones that aren't hurt by this. Okay?
No. I'm talking about the regular voters.
You think?
Look, not every single person, obviously, but when I look to the people I know in my life who voted for Joe Biden,
yeah,
they're staring at record gas prices.
No remorse.
No remorse.
And,
remember what Bill Maher said?
Who are these people? That's what I keep asking.
Remember what Bill Maher said?
Yeah.
If a recession stops Trump, bring on a recession.
Yeah.
Actually calling for pain and suffering of working class people. And the best part is, right now at this student debt forgiveness thing, seeing these people on the left be like, we need to get student debt forgiveness. It's about the working class. And I'm like, bro, college degree holders are not the working class. They're the bourgeoisie. That's what Marx talked about. They're the laptop class. These people are the highest income earners in this country, thinking they're the oppressed minorities. It's true, though.
Yeah, I'll use that, the laptop class.
Well, that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's exactly right.
They think they're deserving of all of this. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a guy who's making half the salary they get, writing articles about Brad Pitt's junk, and he's actually doing something for society.
In terms of